good to be outside. Any video I've taken so far has all been inside. It was idling very high and I was getting a lot of white smoke. There's still a lot of smoke coming at the back. That wasn't like that when I started. Yeah, it's not good, is it? Never mind the smashed windscreen, the torn up interior, the paintwork that was in bits, or even the head gasket gone in the engine. The main problem with this car was rust, and it only took me about a year to figure it out. Right, so fuel tank now out of the car, and you can see it's quite corroded. But the other reason I needed to move the fuel tank out of the way is because I really need to get up there and neutralise the rust which was on top of the fuel tank and underneath the seats, and obviously I couldn't access it without getting the fuel tank out of the way. I tried to take the exhaust off as well, but it's completely welded on down by the midsection there with rust. So just how bad is it? Well, it's bad enough, but by the time I had scraped off all the surface rust off it and seen what level of pitting was left behind, it actually wasn't too bad. It did break through in a couple of places, however, and I did have to cut them out, and I had these problem areas. But yeah, let's delve into it. I'm lying directly underneath the rear chassis leg. Uh-oh. I now consider myself to have a doctorate in rust. Yeah, it took ages. I ground everything down. I got back to bare metal. There was pitting. I used wire brushes. I used the converter, rust converter. I primed it eventually and painted it eventually. Welded in patches to, cut out the hole there and put in a patch. So I think I got most of the rust. Just so you know, on these cars there's like a kind of a sponge down in between the inner and outer panels in front of the rear wheels, and they accumulate water, and that's what happened to me. So you should take yours out. You can access it through the interior. Hey guys, it's the moment of truth here. I have the Toyota Sera jacked up. I have the rear axle and fuel tank removed, and I've stripped the underneath of the car, and I've derustified it and rust converted it. I'm not joking you lads, this was 6 months, I'd say, through the winter, lying on my back doing the underneath of the car. I don't have a lift, I don't have anything fancy. This is all this was a very uncomfortable part of the project, and I'm so glad to have gotten the bloody thing painted so I can move on, start refitting parts that I had refurbished off the car, and finally be working standing upright again. It was torture. Yeah, but look, once this part is done, now this is the backbone of the project, we know that the deepest depths have been sorted out. So, having gotten rid of the rust underneath the car and painted the underneath of the car, the next stage was to move on to the rust that was in the sills. Now, the left side was worse, but the right side also was festering from the inside. Now, my problem is I didn't go far enough when I was cutting out the affected metal, and I would later have to come back and just cut it all out anyway. And this is a mistake I kept making. Discovering more rust underneath where the windscreen was attached to the car. It's not too bad, but yeah, it's a little bit of a worrying place to get it, but we'll come back to this later. Okay, so here's a little sidebar, right? I wasn't quite confident enough with the TIG welding, and to be honest with you, I had kind of messed up the repair from the beginning because I didn't cut anywhere near enough material out. I left a lot of rusty material in there just after scraping off the rust and thinking that'll be fine, but really that material needed to come out anyway. So I asked both of my next door neighbours in the units, I had a fabricator on each side of me, both called Dave. One called Structural Dave and the other called Stainless Dave. You can guess what their specialisation. Neither of them wanted to touch the bodywork on the car, and I don't blame them, to be quite honest. So what I did was, one of my friends, Aidan, thank you very much Aidan, great recommendation. One of my friends recommended this mobile welder fella, right? We showed up to the unit to have a look at the car, and he walked over to the car, and within 3 seconds he just pulled back my panel that I had kind of half welded in, just kind of bent it up out of the way. Now look, that panel did have to come off anyway, but there was something a little bit, I don't know, cocky about it or something. And anyway, I said, could you do that? Oh yeah, no bother. And I got him to do the job. So he came in, within a few minutes, right, started jacking up the car incorrectly, and the car slipped off the jack and it dented in the sill. Luckily not too much damage was caused, considering could have been a lot worse. That should have sent the alarm bells ringing. I should have sent him packing straight away, but I said, you know, give him a few hours. So I left him off, wasn't supervising him, left him off, left the room, left him do his thing, and Jesus Christ, when I came back, you want to see the state of this now, lads. This is bad.
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. He was after putting in stainless steel into the body, and he used a gasless MIG, and look at the welds he did.
Oh, did you see that very sharp little splinter there? He managed to cut the hand off himself. He wouldn't wear gloves, wouldn't wear protective eyewear. He scratched up my welding shield by putting it face down on the ground. He's just sloppy, messy, careless. Yeah, so look, anyway, this guy was a disaster. I mean, when I got the car, it had a patch done, and then I had to cut out that patch and put in a bigger patch, and then he cut out my patch and then put in a bigger one, and now I have to cut out that patch and make this huge hole in the side of the car. So the problem just seems to be like spiraling out of control and getting worse, and I know now that I'm going to have to cut all of this off. I went back into Stainless Dave next door, and you know what he said? He said, just do it yourself, and he gave me a loan of a welder. He scratched me, oh, the bastard. So yeah, that's it lads, cautionary tale. Now, the guy who came in and messed this job up, he said he was going to put in these supports, and he never did. And I only found that when I ripped out his work. So I just got some pretty thick, I didn't measure, it's probably about 1.5 mil mild steel that's been galvanized, and I just made a support bracket there and welded it on, and that's very, very solid. And I welded a patch in there. Now, it's not going to win any beauty contests. Right, well here we are, it's 2 in the morning, I'm about to go home, and this is where I'm at. I've had to do extensive surgery on the car. It's grand, as long as it's structurally good and safe and good into the future, that's the idea. You see I've marked in green here, I'm just going to have to cut down around there. Okay, so a little update here. I have put in this plate across there like that, and I've put in thick plate there, and I've put in this plate which goes all the way up, and then I have this to finish off the corner of the arch. There's going to go approximately there, and there's going to be a bit of a lip on this side here, and then once that's welded in, I'm on to the final panel. I know, it's awful. But it's better than the last guy, that's for sure. I've done a good bit of fabrication since this video was made, and it's kind of embarrassing looking back at the effort I put in, but I have to say I'm still happy enough that it's a good repair. It may look shit, but I'm pretty proud of myself with that, even though it looks terrible to me now. I think I could do a better job now, but I'm still happy enough. Now, I don't want to start celebrating just yet, but I have the outer skin on now, and I've tacked it in place with loads and loads of tacks. And tomorrow I'm going to come in, I'm going to grind that down and give another few tacks where it needs it, and grind it down again. And I need to do along the bottom. I'll need to cut off a little sliver and weld along the bottom as well, but that's looking pretty good. I have the welding underneath the chassis leg done, and really I just finish this off, go over to the other side, do the same thing on the other side. So I go on and I do the other side as well. I cut it out, I clean out any rust, I go to weld a patch back in. But as you can see on the left here, on the left side, why did I not cut out that bit up there? I'm up to my old tricks again. I'm not cutting out enough material now. I am going to have to come back, and I do come back afterwards and cut that out and just remake the edge of the wheel arch, the whole thing. But I keep kind of making the mistake. I think it's because I'm so new to welding. This is my first time using a MIG welder, that I'm kind of afraid to cut big chunks out of the car in case I go too far or something. Then you have at the front of the car these mounting points for the wings that are completely rusted away. So with my newfound tentative welding skills, I welded on some metal there to recreate that part, and that made a big difference to the front end, because I was able to get rid of all that rust out of there. It was all creeping in and migrating in from the actual wings. You saw how bad the wings were, but yeah, I was pretty happy with this. But guys, it's been a long video. I think we'll leave it there for today, will we? It's been great. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll have the next episode in about 3 years. I'm only joking, we'll have it soon. Thanks a million, guys. Chat to you soon.